Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up about 1% there. On the S&P, Nasdaq up 2%. Same with the semiconductor. Dow's up. Russell 2000 same. Transport slightly red. Banks up a little bit. Energy's down. Biotech did make a move today, about 2% positive. Healthcare down, up. Home bills up by 1.3. Utilities down. Retail up 1.3 along with the emerging market. Bitcoin up. Gold, silver, miners. These guys are red today. Dollar pretty much flat. Oil up. Treasury bond up. VIX is down. Let's stick with the S&P 500 ETF. Spider. 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday. And this is where we opened up today. It looks like we actually did see that gap down. However, that level, that 438 level is a level we talked about on the last night's analysis. As I zoom out here, you can see that this is a pivotal level, prior resistance right here, right? And we broke above it, and it's been acting as support last 2 trading hours of last night's session. So when we did see that gap down, that level did act as support, and quickly that down gap was filled, right? You can see that right here. This down gap was filled because, again, that's where we closed. This is where we opened up, and bulls got up and filled that gap. Did act as instant resistance. This is why we see that upper wick. But when the gap got filled, it made a way for the buyers to march higher. And this is precisely what we talked about, yesterday, that when we did see that oscillator showing that extreme overbought, putting that oscillator all the way to the top of its band, that's actually not a bearish signal. Rather, it is the bulls flexing their muscle, showing strength and gaining confidence. With that, you can see, and also bulls have been utilizing that micro-term moving average quite a bit. You can see that light green moving average here. That micro-term moving average has been supporting the buyers this entire week. And with that move, we've been marching up every single hour. On the last hour, though, buyers did breach that part of that down gap. So if I zoom out, you will see where the down gap comes from. And this down gap comes from February 17th. That's when that was opened up. And we've been talking about how as long as this down gap is open, bears are not going anywhere. Yesterday, we talked about that bull's objective is to fill this down gap and not leave anything behind, right? You got to fill the entirety of it. And you might be asking, well, okay, bulls did not fill the entirety of this down gap. Is this a trouble signal for the buyers? Well, there's a couple things we can think about. So, if the bulls understand, right now bulls are running on empty, right? They're getting running on empty. Tired because they've been pushing it for the entire week, maybe entire 2 weeks now. So they've been pushing this for entire 2 weeks, right? Every single day pretty much. So they know that they're tired. They know that once they go up and fill this down gap, it's going to act as resistance. But knowing that bulls are tired, they don't have any more energy remaining. I wonder, it's a little bit of risky bet. It's a little bit of risky strategy, but it has a potentially big reward for the bulls. I wonder if the bulls left it open strategically, knowing that if they just go up and fill this up-down gap, it's going to act as resistance. And then once, because they're tired, when this thing acts as resistance, bears might get really, really riled up and bring this down quite heavily, maybe even back to 432, which is my midterm moving average is currently residing. If bulls don't want to see that, leaving this gap a little bit just so they can gap it up on Monday morning, if they can see something like that, they might have more smoother transition to the upside without coming back down to 430s, you see. However, if bears realize that bulls are tired, bulls fail to fill this down gap, if bears bringing it down here without letting the bulls filling this down gap, if bears protect this level and if they bring it hard, this could cause a trouble for the upcoming week next week. We're talking below 430, potentially 435s or so. I mean, we do have 441 as a prior resistance, potentially as new support, and then we got 436, and then my midterm moving average is currently residing at 432. So we do have these, these levels gonna provide some cushion for the bulls, but because we're still in this kind of a choppy environment. Remember last time when bulls brought it up this much, they almost gave almost all of it away in just about a week or just several days. And bulls, I mean, the bears are capable of this. We're talking this kind of creating chaos in the market, making bulls' life miserable as long as this down gap is open. Check out that oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So that oscillator, we talked about that, coiling pattern breakout, right? We talked about that. So once we see that coiling action and when the oscillator breaks out, there will be more push from the bulls, right? That's what it calls a breakout. Definitely that's a breakout, right? So even though we hit that overbought level yesterday, we continue to see more bulls are pushing it, keeping that oscillator flat, what I like to call pancake pattern. We've seen this before. When we see the pancake pattern, we don't know how long this signal is going to continue, because what the bulls can do is that they can oscillate this tight oscillation right here and back and forth, creating space for themselves, keep the momentum going and continue to make a move. I actually think this setup here is a good setup for a gap up and then possibly fade. So gap up and then fade and then consolidate. And as it consolidates, the oscillator maybe reset a little bit, potentially even retest that resistance one more time as a new support, and then prop itself back up. And then bulls break out of the consolidation, going for the 460 or higher, right? And all these scenarios I laid out for you guys is valid as long as this gap either gets filled or bulls gap it over. If this gap doesn't get filled, if bears start to smell blood, you will witness blood in the streets. I'm gonna come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening. We'll drink tomorrow.